Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Buscor Podcast. And then again, I am your host, Ndlovu. And today I have the most respected man at Buscor. One of the most respected. I don't want people to kill me. I have Mr. Ndlovu, the operations manager at White River Division, with us as our guest. And we are going to be grilling him with questions or rather concerns from all of you that sent on our Facebook page. Before we get onto it, also, please subscribe. Please subscribe, follow, and share with your friends so that they get all of this love information about Buscor. Yes, Mr. Ndlovu, how are you, sir?
Well, thank you, Lindo. Thank you for welcoming us.
Yes,
It's your fault.
you're very welcome. You're very welcome. And if people do not know this, you are the former public relations officer of Buscor. I'm sure now you have all the experience in the world that you need to know about dealing with passengers or complaints. And now you are the operations manager, which makes it all better.
That's very true, Lindo. I've been an operations public relations officer since 2014 up to 2021. So the knowledge is there.
Very much. That's great. Share with us the knowledge. Yes. Are you ready to be grilled?
I'm always ready because I know what I'm doing, Lindo.
Okay, that's very good. But in case there's something that I left out about you that you would actually make us to learn, who is Mr. Ndlovu?
Mr. Ndlovu is an operations manager for the White River Division. I'm an old finisher here at Buscor. I started working for Buscor since March 2003, so you can count. Now I'm at White River, responsible for the operational department, yes.
Okay, now please tell us more about the White River Division, because we know there's White River Division, we know there's Nelspruit Division, we also know that there's Maryland Division. What sets the White River Division apart?
Okay, actually, when we speak about White River Division, we start from anything or any bus traveling from the area to White River. That's your White River Division. And then we also do have buses coming from the far end of our operational area is your Cog to Mbombela, which includes White River as one, of course, White River and Hazy View. And we also have buses coming from Zalagashe, Makoko, all the way to either White River or Mbombela. That's your Matsebula terminus.
Okay, so your game side of the place, there's what? Chalagashi,
In Zalagashe, in Makoko area.
Gapoweni as well, and Hazelview, and all of these other places that are Cloud.
Tlatlao forms part of White River Division and Msholozi as well.
Yeah, so my questions align.
Thank you. I'm grateful for you.
All right, so we have the passenger who asked why ningabaniki ibhasi ngo-6 p.m. lesuka eMbombela leya eMkhuhlu ngoba lele nayo manje ibashiya eHazyview. So why kungabi khona ibhasi yango-6 p.m. lesuka eMbombela iya eMkhuhlu?
For a bus to be available, there are things that are taken into consideration. When there's a demand, when there's a supply, there must be a demand. So we did try to have a bus from Hazyview to Mkhuhlu during that time of the day. But apparently there was very less demand because sometimes you found that we transport about 5 passengers, sometimes 3 passengers. So that was not commercially viable. However, if now there's a need, we can revisit and then end the supply.
So if it's just going to be 5 passengers, by demand you mean the amount of people
That's correct,
that
Lindo.
need to be transported at the time.
That's correct, Lindo. You must remember that our buses, the smallest bus loads 78 seated plus 32 standing. So if you can imagine in that big bus and then you have 3 passengers, that won't be commercial viable.
I guess also with the other concern that we had from another passenger saying that Nelspruit to Nyongane, they are asking for a bus. You're also going to go back there and investigate, or this is a different one?
Before
Also asking for a bus.
before introducing a bus, actually what's supposed to happen, if there are passengers that are in need of a bus,
Yeah.
or what they need to do is to compile a list for us, a list of people that are in need of the bus. Because no, you can't say Lindo.
No,
Because
need passenger, and then I'm a passenger. So that's why I'm saying, because I'm thinking, would I try to find other passengers and compile a list? I don't know them. I just get on the bus with them.
but then
No.
so your request,
Who's now going to go around and be looking for other passengers?
no, you're not. Remember, here we talk about demand.
Yeah.
So if there's a demand, surely you're supposed to know those people that need a bus. Because we can't say, if I need a bus, then I request for a bus because I alone need a bus. Then that won't be.
Okay, so this is where the story gets fun.
Yes.
Lower Senyongane, uthi Nelspruit to Nyongane, they are asking for a bus because they are always standing. So it's overcrowding. It's a situation of overcrowding emabhasini. So it's bhasi igcwala kakhulu.
Then that's a different story. There's a difference. There's difference between the two.
Okay.
Here you're talking about the service that is already available. However, the passenger feel aggrieved ngokuthi uyema, we are standing
Every day.
Okay, so it's a tricky one, but at the end of the day, we must remember this is a public transport, right? So a public transport, bantu bayema go public transport. There's that allowance. So we cannot say mhlambe makuma 20 abantu in a bus. We must have 32 passengers standing. So if maybe there's more than that, for an example, then that's an overload. Because kunemehluko phakathi kwe-overload ne-standing. Those are two different things. Standing is allowed, but overloading is not allowed.
Okay.
Yes.
So if they're standing at 20 or 30 people, then that's allowed.
Logically, it is allowed because you cannot introduce another bus for 20 passengers.
Yeah.
That will be a selling at loss.
Let's spoil the job.
Then unfortunately, we can spoil you, but you'll have to dig deeper from your pockets because it goes two ways.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
But then on this one, because the passenger did not say how many are standing, we will go back and investigate. If it's an overloading, then we will look at ways of resolving it. But then I was just trying to clarify for you that there's a difference between a standing and an overloading.
All right. So the passenger goes on also on the very same concern. So it's first the standing every day, and then he or she also says that ningabaniki driver losa ala ushayela ibhasi for you long distance njenga uthi uya kuphi ekhomba so yeah somewhere
Okay.
uthi ningafaki driver losa phuma ku training ngiyabekisa sasenyuwane fresh out of training long distance funeka lona experience because it's a long way to where they are going and it takes time if you now give them driver losasenyuwane.
So in other words, the dearest passenger mean that bantu basenyongane noma abantwana basekhomba so afanelanga bagashwe. That's exactly what it's saying. Because what I can assure this passenger is the safety of the passengers. They are safe. Reason being, we train them for the whole year. Drivers without experience, we train them for the whole year. We cannot give them a driver who is not well trained because our reputation is also at stake. So laba bantu bababo khona enyongani noma kusekhomba so wherever, but then we cannot say akusuke umuntu lo well trained from la eNelspruit ahamba yobalayisha enyongani. Sibatrainile nabo laba, they are well trained, they know what to do. Hence we don't have major accidents because we do give ourselves time to make sure that they are safe.
Okay, I guess that's clear, but the passenger is not done.
Okay. I'm here. I'm all his.
It's not done. Uyaqhubeka futhi uthi yena aka-understand why ibhasi yona leya enyongane kuthi why iqala eMsholozi and then iya enyongane. Why ingaveli iye enyongane nje?
As I stated earlier on, Lindo, ukuthi ibus ifakwa nge-demand and then bese kuba ne-supply. When we started with this trip, bebabancane bantu basenyongane. So hence we couldn't introduce another bus, whereas there's a bus that will pass where we have passengers now. So then we decided to combine the two locations, Nyongane as well as Msholozi, so that the bus can drop off the people of Msholozi first and then travels to Nyongane. However, because you know that villages are growing and demand is growing, if this bus is now have enough or sufficient numbers, we can see what to do, maybe give Msholozi their own bus. But then we cannot take Msholozi out and then leave the Nyongane people only to find that they are 30, 40, for an example. I'm just citing an example.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I do understand. Ngoba indzaba yakhe ukuthi bafika late emakhaya if ibhasi iqala eMsholozi, then bona batholakala bafika late emakhaya. So they are not happy about being late when they are going.
Kukabili lento. You win some, you lose some. Bangafika early. Kodwa it's gonna cost them more. So combining them, we're trying to lessen the burden on their shoulder. Because if you introduce another bus, then that's another expense. And leya ibengakagcwali in a space. Bungako ibhasi ayivele ihambe straight. Lenye uyithola ukuthi ivaya Lihau, lenye ivaya Rocky Street, depending on the demand with nale capacity la ibhasini ukuthi ingakanayo. But I can promise him or her that we will revisit and check the number of passengers in that bus ukuthi nyalo seyimenjani. If then it constitutes ukuthi sifake another bus, we'll do that, definitely.
Okay, so you promise.
Promise, pinky promise.
Pinky.
Yeah.
Siyobopha kabungani.
But remember,
Check.
no, we'll check.
And all the updates mustn't check.
Yes, ma'am, we do that.
Thank you very much. All right, we move on to the next concern. Passenger uthi when going to Nelspruit coming from a game. Why or what is the reason that finally behle ditebisi and get on another bus? Should I to make like Y3 and the correct is because lo ku gabade disa now. So na say let's give it the PC, say let's give it pass and then.
Kubuyela back to the statement that I made earlier, that gonke kuya nge-demand. So initially, akhona amabhasi lahamba straight from a game all the way through to Bombay to Nelspruit. Akhona lawo lebantu babancane khona, especially I hope Lelo passenger likhuluma nge-off peak, like bo 8, 9, 10.
10.
Yes. Yeah. Off peak, mabhasi akagcwali. So lamabhasi lakhuluma ngawo labafike behle khona White River and then jump into another bus. A terminator White River, and mostly it's because of the numbers that are involved. So abantu abaningi bebathi mabasuka le ku area batholakale beta batophelela la White River. And then later kwabe sekuba naloko ukuthi bantu sebaqala bayagcwala White River. So sesiyaba transporter from White River, and then we introduce another trip from White River to Nelspruit. Kodwa nangabe kungukuthi sebaningi labaqhamuka from the area labaya straight Nelspruit, then we can also revisit that and let that bus drive direct to Nelspruit.
Okay. And here's a concern or question that is not very hectic. Why the water taps are not working? Why my taps are so white banga 7 a month? It's a passenger. The taps are not working. White River. White River terminal, no. I get a White River terminal. Why are the taps not working at White River terminal? Because we are buying highly priced tickets.
You see, those are two different things.
No, I was. The thing is, but not cousin.
Yeah.
I guess the ticket about but the leg in the man is so.
Okay. No, mandi akhona White River. Ngiyacabanga ukuthi mhlambe passenger lami alati la itimbombi tingakhona khona. Timbombi tingale ngaku Washing Bay. La siwashela khona amabhasi kunetimbombi letikhona lapho. Namanje
They are allowed to.
They are allowed, yes. Maybe he or she is not aware. And maybe he or she is referring to the small ones that are on the platforms.
Yeah. Probably those ones. Those ones are not working.
No, those ones does not have water, because like when you look at them, they are straight up. So it's more convenient for them to make use of the ones that I'm referring to. The one next to the wash bay.
The ones next to the wash base. Okay. Very good. Mr. Ndlovu. Myself and my fellow passengers sometimes get to be treated in a very unfair way, or maybe in a very rude manner by some, not all of them, of course, by some bus drivers. So I don't know, what do we need to do? Because there's one peer who's with me in this rudeness.
Yes, ma'am.
He or she thinks that pastor needs to go and evaluate how people travel outside.
Yes.
And see how rude their fast trippers are. You can't even ask a simple question. So how do we address that one? Because we know there are some bus drivers who are rude.
Lindo, it pains us to hear that from you, our bosses, because you are our employers. Passengers are employers. They are the ones who make sure that we buy new buses, we give service to the community. Without them being our passengers, we wouldn't be able to be in business. We'd rather close the front door. Hence, we treat them with respect, with courtesy that they deserve. We spending a lot of money. We as Buscor, we spend a lot of money to train drivers. They know exactly what is expected of them. And from time to time, we take them to refresher courses.
Yeah.
Customer service or customer care is part of the training.
Yeah.
Even if we can go out to check how they behave, they will behave nicely because they know what to do.
Yeah.
Hence, we rely on you, the bus user, to inform us if there's any ill treatment that you encounter out there.
Yeah.
We have an a PRO, public relations officer. You can take your complaints to him, and we also have the control rooms.
Yeah.
Nelspruit one is operating 24/7. Let me give you and the viewers or listeners the numbers to call.
Please.
For the public relations officer, it's 013 754 6245. That's Mr. Thomas Lubisi.
Okay.
He's responsible for the entire Buscor operation.
Oh.
And then for the control room, it's 013 754 6246. If you can't get through with the 6, put 7. Remove the 6, put 7. If you can't get through with the 7, put 8. So it's 013 754 6246 or 7 or 8.
Okay.
There you'll get assistance. What we need from you is that you give us the place of the incident, where the incident took place,
Yeah.
the date,
Okay.
the time,
Okay.
and the destination where the bus was traveling to.
Okay.
That will assist. Oh, as well as the bus number, because you will find that we have 3-4 buses loading at the same place. So we need to go direct to the bus number that you're referring to. Then by that, we can eliminate this gauge that we don't want in our organization.
Okay, so when I give you all of this information that you've just listed, what happens after?
You lodge the complaint, and then we go and investigate.
Yeah.
We take corrective action if there's a need, because we do have camera footage in our buses. We can drill down and see what transpired. But what we request from you as a client, when you go to the driver, go there with respect. I'm not saying they are right but being rude. I like it when you said some of them are being rude. But then let's bring the end of our stick as well as passengers. Let's respect them because they're also human beings. And then we expect the same from them.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a two-way street.
Yeah, I do understand. Okay, so now another passenger says that they need a bus from Nelspruit to Mkhuhlu from 6 p.m. because the one that you have provided ends in Hazyview. So they struggle with transport from Hazyview to Mkhuhlu. Help us, please.
I think, Linda, we dealt with this one earlier on.
Yeah.
But I can still share with you as well. The same information that I shared earlier on. We terminated the bus at Hazyview due to demand. Now, if there's a new demand from Hazyview to Mkhuhlu, it's not a problem because our operation is informed by the demand. If there's a demand, we can easily introduce a bus. But then we cannot introduce a bus for 2 people, 3 people. That's the saddest part.
So ndo check nini ukuthi demand ikhona.
Today's Thursday, next week is the Easter week. So after Easter's.
Okay.
Yes.
Bye. Thank you. We will try to be patient.
Please be patient.
Yes. Here's another big one, which puzzles me most of the time. Well, when tickets lami lithi wrong zone, yabo, say ngithenge, for example, Ngodini to Y3, it's the same amount when you buy Ngodini to Nelspruit. Mawuthenga uthikithi. But why then uma say ngifuna kuya Nelspruit with my Ngodini to Y3 sengangivumeli, but it's the same amount? Why wrong zone sefanele ngagibeli but imali yalingana?
Okay. What a nice question. A ticket is attached to two things. One, it's kilometers. So we zone them by kilometers.
Okay.
Yeah, like 0 to 9, it's a zone 1. 10 to 19, it's a zone 2. Da 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 da. That's point number 1. That is how we zone our tickets.
Yeah.
Then number 2, we zone them by origin destination. So it's not like because you have a zone 1 ticket, you can travel anywhere where it's a zone 1 ticket. No, you must meet the 2 kilometers and origin and destination.
Okay.
Yes, it can be from of the same zone, but then if you don't meet the origin and destination, then afanele amatravel aleyo ticket. Because you must remember, Lindo, we allocate our buses due to what has been sold on that route.
Noma iprice lingana.
Yes, noma iprice ilingana, but njengoba ngikutshelile ukuthi siya ngezone, I mean ngama-kilometers, then bese kuba origin and destination. Boy 2, you must tick both blocks. Yes, origin and destination, then kilometers, then you're fine.
And I just remembered this one time, a passenger was sent us a DM and was asking if it was possible to use TET around, say I bought Matulu to Nelspruit, but I'm not going to Nelspruit. I want to go to Matulu B. Can I use the ticket from Matulu? What? Don't look at me.
No, I'm listening. I just want to make sure if I understand you correctly so that I answer you.
I'm at Matulu A.
Yes.
I want to go to Matulu B.
Yes.
Can I use my ticket?
Yes, of course, you can.
Oh.
Hey, but then it depends, like that one. You can use your ticket from Matsulu A to Matsulu B.
Yes.
Unless you have not used or exhausted your trips. Because you cannot travel from Matsulu A to Nelspruit and then travel from Nelspruit to Matsulu A. Then you want to move from Matsulu A to Matsulu B. Then because a ticket in a day have 2 trips. In and out. 2 long trips and then 2 short trips. That is where we use our transfer points. But then once you exhaust your trips for the day, then you'll have to pay because what we charged you for, you have already done or you have already had the meal for the day. You went in and out. So that's what you've paid for. Anything extra outside that, then you'll have to pay, surely.
Okay, yeah, I know, I do understand now. Okay. So, unfortunately, there's one passenger who's saying that White River is a disgrace. Especially Masoyi. Uthi ibhasi bekumele iphume ngo 5:05. Ingena late. Bese ilayini suke seyiyide kakhulu ucela ukuthi ngibalungisele la. Shothi sicela ukuthi ibhasi ingangeni late.
Kufuna iphume 5:05 wanzambama. Iya kuphi?
Iya eMasoyi.
Iya eMasoyi. Oh, okay. Lo lesicelayo ukuthi abantu bakwende. If I don't know whether kuse White River noma kuse Nelspruit la.
Kuse
White River.
Yep.
We do have officers that are always there. You have your Mr. Teledi, you have your Mr. Dibakwane, you have your Mr. Tsotetsi. They are there. If there's any problem, we can speak to them, then they can address it. If then you don't find joy, you can escalate it to, it's either the operational manager, which is me, and my number is 013-754-6269.
Okay.
If you still don't find joy from me, you can also escalate it to my general manager. Her number is 013-754-6291. But then you can also use the platforms that I mentioned earlier on, our control room, as well as our public relations officer. Yes.
I'm trying right here to make sense of what the passenger here is saying, because it sounds as if they want a bus. They're also choosing the driver that they want for the bus.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. Uthi ngo 6:10 sicela ibhasi eya eY3 Vadalampartin. Nalo driver loya eNelspruit ngo 6:10 bathi ngubani sesiright ngaye akasihloniphi. Sicela driver wethu lo ngubani. So you change drivers.
Then it's a little bit tricky because we cannot shift the problem. Let's correct the wrongs. If kunenkinga, let's follow the same procedure which I stated earlier on. Ngoba if umsusa la danzi unenkinga, sithi akayoba inkinga phambili. Let's deal with the problem. Let's find the root cause and address it. I think that will work fine.
So sifuna solve a problem.
As a solve a problem, singayishift the problem.
Singaba ni driver wabo wakuzalo.
Angapension abantu abasebenza njani? Abasasebenzi. Atsayi umsebenzini ngoba driver wabo so pensioned. Let's correct the problem.
Hey. Yeah, Mati. Okay. But I think we've addressed most of them, if not all of them. Lamaye, they are along the side of wanting a bus. And you've already explained, I think 3 times already, go see if Nastanis cheeky demand, how many people need the bus, and then if we can afford to give them the bus.
Yes, ma'am. Because ungasho wena ukuthi sidinga ibus ngo 10 ebusuku, for an example. But then us as officers or as managers, nasiya lapho angeke sithole muntu because bayathi abantu ngithi ukuthi ibhasi ayikho vele. So at least when you have a clue ukuthi sihamba nabobani sihlupheka kanjani, uyabona. So at least if uyosinika leyo list, we'll take it from there, and then sesiyasho ukuthi oh okay sisithonile isicelo senu. Asizameni sibone, at least those people they know ukuthi there will be a dry run or a trial that is going to be piloted. Then they group themselves, they become available, and then we introduce the bus. We give it some time to check as to are the numbers growing or what's happening. Other than us just throwing a bus without informing anyone, there's no one there. Then we said, no, there's no demand.
We pause.
Yeah, we pause and just uyayilahlela. And then at the end of the day, you'll say, akuna demand. Only to find that it demand a call. But the people that you're trying to service were not aware. Ukuthi siyayifaka le bus then.
Okay. Hey. Yeah, I do understand. We are done with the main concerns that I wanted us to talk about.
Okay.
But I know that you also have an answer for this one that came to my attention this morning. The passenger is satisfied with the services, but he ugibela ebusuku ngabo 10. So bekacela ukuthi lapha uyabona ekukhanyeni sekukhanyena ngesikhathi bekacela nje ukuthi nithumele amaphoyisa enu sengisho ma-security yesibabalaze maba qhamuka lapha ekukhanyeni ngoba avekho ku-possible imloko.
Kusho ukuthi sokuyofuna each and every dark place where it's not safe, we must deploy security guards. It's so unfortunate because we can't do that.
How?
It's outside our working parameter. So safety, yes, it's part of our concerns. However, we cannot be at each and every corner. Try to mitigate subs. Yes, we can. We do have our security guards at our parameters, but outside that, it's so unfortunate because we'll extend to go to municipal land. Then you'll say, no, from SARS area, it's not safe, it's dark, please deploy security guards. From there, Tilanga Mall, it's not safe, deploy security guards. It's so unfortunate we can't do that. We can't be at each and every corner.
Yes, it's very unfortunate. Okay. We are done, but before we get done, because we are still not at ease as passengers concerning Inzaba Optibus, the new system that you introduced into place. What is the update? What's happening in your Optibus?
Firstly, I would like to thank our passengers. They've been so patient with us whilst we were trying to get our house in order. Most of you or most of them can attest that it's now far much more better. I would say 89-90%, even more than that. Because now you can see the number of complaints. When we started with the Optibus, like we had complaints, numerous complaints left, right, and center. But now everything has dried down. You will find a complaint one here, one there, and you attest with me that they are not Optibus related. It's just that sometimes the bus is delayed due to road construction, is delayed due to different incidents that are taking place on route. However, with Optibus, we think we are back in line now.
Great news. This is awesome news. So veyangiwe unzameli bhasi. So ngantelile bhasi buku executive from Sheg. Ukade ngicabanga mhlawumbe ngase ngiyitanara kuwo. Ngizameli ibhasi. Bepride idasi lemnandi nami imbande imathubunyana lapha. Angiphumi, angeke ngiphazamisi. Ngihambele emathulu nje.
Sinike wena ibhasi personally. Yeah, okay. Buthi wendeni ngayo?
Bantu abesikole, transport abantu abesikole.
Transport abantu abesikole.
Yeah, emathulu.
Okay, bese seba ne breakdown then bese wenda njani wena ngoba yinye le bus loyitela.
Asikhulumisa.
Okay, no, not today. To add on that, before we get done, Lindo, may I please try and orientate our passengers as to what needs to be done in case they have a complaint?
Yes, please.
When you have a complaint, please get us these following things. 1, the place where the incident took place. That's very much important. 2, the date when the incident happens. The time. Then the bus number. And then the destination, if maybe the bus, you know where the bus was traveling to which place. It's very much important so that we can be able to investigate your complaint. Because if you just say, there's a bus that did not stop for me at Gapowen or at Rocky's Drift. Firstly, we don't have the time. We don't have the date. We don't know the bus number. And there we have about 200 buses passing on that route in a day. So please, if you can be nice with us or helpful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Help us help you.
Exactly.
Basically.
Then it will be much more easier. Even the turnaround time will be much more quicker.
Right. Thank you so much for joining me, Mr. Ndlovu. I hope that when we have more concerns, you'll come back and explain them again.
please, you're always welcome, man. Yes. Thank you so much. It's been great to be in your podcast.
Yes, you're very welcome. This is a ramp episode 3. Join us again on the other episode on the something of next month. You will join us again next month for the episode number 4. But please subscribe, enjoy the show, share with your friends. Come back. It's time.